Welcome to Touch Base Thursday. We have some information we want to get to you about our phase 2 of reopening, social but distant. That'll be happening on June 7th, on Sunday, June 7th. But we have some changes, so we want to make sure that you're completely aware of. So, Kevin?
Well, hey, first of all, we're going to be offering our services, our worship service starting on the 7th. But it may be a little bit abbreviated because there's just going to be certain needs for us to get in and get out. It'll make it a little bit quicker. And we'd like you to pre-register. And what that means is that there's going to be potentially some limited space only because we can only fit so many people in the room. And so what that means is we need you to pre-register. And that's really so we want to respect your time and be able to manage expectations more effectively. And so it's our desire to meet the demand and the need of everyone who wants to come and attend a service. And so we're going to work at being able to offer as many services as we need to. But what we anticipate, if we need more than one, we'd start with 2 on Sunday morning. One would be at 9 and one would be at 10:30. And so you can find the link to register at questchurchstl.com/service or on the event page of any specific service that you want to come to.
Yep. It's .org. Sorry, that was my bad typo. So questchurchstl.org/service. All right, so registration will open up on the Thursday before any given Sunday service. So for the services on June 7th, you can start registering on Thursday, June 4th. The link will probably go live in the afternoon, but I'll post it to Facebook and it'll go into the newsletter as well. So you'll get that in your inbox.
You know, the next thing I'd like to talk about is become a flashpoint for all sorts of conflict in our culture, all over the place. And obviously it's the big issue of face masks, because they're what some people call face coverings. And where we landed as the staff and the elders and some medical professionals, where we've landed is that we think face covering should be worn by all attendees as an expression of courtesy and respect, especially for those who may feel a little less comfortable than you do. And so we want everybody to wear those, but children under the age of 5 are exempt. It's just too difficult for young kids to do that. They'll be ripping them off and it just doesn't work. So under 5, no big deal.
Now, okay, we know that face masks, face coverings, they're just really not very comfortable, but they really do help protect the people around you. And we just want to do our very best to provide this protection. At Quest, we're going to try as hard as we can to have distancing between our seats, about 6 feet, but covering your mouth and nose really cuts down on the spread of the virus, or any virus, not just COVID. So, if you're carrying it asymptomatically, which 85% of people do, this is basically just a great way to love your neighbor and to respect their safety. Seating for any given service is going to be limited to 120 people. This is because we can only have 25% capacity of whatever the fire department has said. So upstairs, we can have 75 people in the auditorium, but we're going to have the Quest Kids area downstairs be overflow in the lower level for about 45 people. Both areas are going to be spaced out to accommodate state and county guidelines.
Yeah, with having the lower level be an overflow room for the extra capacity, unfortunately, that means Quest Kids will be closed. As long as there's distancing to ask kids to remain 6 feet from each other, it's going to be hard to keep. So we're going to not have a children's service offering on Sunday morning at church, but we are going to have families seated together in little pockets and clusters for when you come to be able to worship with your family, both upstairs in the auditorium and downstairs in the overflow area. With Quest Kids not meeting on Sunday mornings, we are going to provide the materials necessary for your students to participate and follow along with the series from home. All the learning, all the activities, all the messages from teachers are going to be provided to you online, and the materials will be given to you in advance.
Now, with the limited numbers in seating, we don't foresee parking being a real issue. So the shuttle is not going to be running. So don't park down at Pond. be sure to park in the Quest parking lot. If for some reason you do park down at Pond, you're going to have to walk. Not a big deal, but the shuttle will not be running.
And when you do get to church on Sunday morning for either service, we will open up the auditorium for you to come in about 15 minutes prior to the service to give people time to get ready. And so upon arrival, we're going to ask people to wait outside until someone will direct you in and invite you in as we move people and get people ready for service.
Here's the real bummer. We're not going to do coffee and donuts. We know. I can hear the groaning right now, but you're welcome to bring your own, okay? If you bring your own, just please be sure to clean up your stuff at the end of the service, okay? There's trash bins around, so just toss it away when you're done.
And if you do bring a donut for yourself, if you could bring one for me, I'd really appreciate it. I enjoy them. So, but yeah, bring your own if you need to. Also, for now, we are going to suspend doing communion. It's just too many shared surfaces and shared things to touch and do. So we'll do that. And we may even accomplish communion in some other way. As part of your worship also is part of your tithes and offerings. And you can do that online, which we'd encourage you to do. But if you want to bring it with you, we will have an offering box, both just inside the doors of the main auditorium, but also we'll have one downstairs on the lower level that you'll be able to access. So this is not, we don't want your money. We just are saying this is part of your worship to the Lord. And it really is an important part for us to give to him that peace.
Also, when you come on Sunday mornings, we will have bathrooms upstairs and downstairs open, but they will be limited to one person at a time, just to cut down on foot traffic and people gathering together. So one person at a time. And surfaces in bathrooms or other high-touch surfaces throughout the facility are going to be sanitized throughout the services and also between services, between the early and the later Sunday morning services, just to make sure we can be as safe as possible, to be prudent and careful and clean, especially the spots where there's more contact, just to make sure we're doing everything we can to cut down on the spread of disease and to make sure we all are safe and comfortable.
Now, we're fully understanding that not everybody is going to be ready to come back on the 7th. So we're going to be continuing to post services online.
Right. And if you have a compromised immune system, we would encourage you to consider waiting because things are still a little unsettled, especially for those who are struggling with certain things. So we would totally understand that. In fact, I've talked to enough people to know not everyone's coming back at the same time. It's going to be a rolling start, and that is totally fine. But we'd encourage you that if you're not feeling well, if you are having some symptoms, we would encourage you to please stay home. Or if you've been in contact recently with someone who's not feeling well, it'd be really wise to wait and see how it affects you before you potentially bring that into the auditorium. So this is kind of our guidelines. We'll keep up with things as they unfold, and we'll change our protocols as we need to. But we're really looking forward to being together again. There is something unique. There is something powerful about being face-to-face. Now it's going to be 6 feet away face-to-face, but being together, because we could keep doing church online. We could keep doing it on video. But there is something that allows us to hide when we do it online, because we can be on screen, but as soon as we're off screen, we live our lives in an isolation. We always self-destruct. And so being back together. And we want to continue working at helping people feel connected in Quest. We need to do a better job. We want to really reach out to people. And I've already talked to all sorts of people who have said, you know what, I haven't been in church in 20 years. And I think I want to see what God is doing. And so they've even told me that they're going to be in service as soon as it opens up. And I'm excited for that. And we're going to be ready to receive them. And we want to give more and more ownership and leadership to everyone at Quest, because the priesthood of all believers is still something we absolutely believe in. Pastors are not the people who run a church. The staff is not who runs a church. The elders don't run a church. A church runs because the body functions. And there are leaders who give leadership, but they're to serve as servant leaders to everyone doing the ministry. And so we're looking forward to that being strengthened at Quest. So on behalf of Beth and on behalf of Jonathan, on behalf of the rest of the staff, on behalf of the elders, and on behalf of our entire church, and hopefully even on behalf of our community, we are looking forward to being together. So God bless you. We love you. And that's not just a way to end a little, Touch Space Thursday. We honestly really want to love you. So thank you for joining us. We're going to sign off. Beth, anything to say? I totally didn't plan this, and she didn't know I was going to do this. Jonathan?
Yeah.
Nothing, eh?
I mean, it's rare for me to not have something to say, but.
Totally. No, that's not true. That's not true. All right. Well, you guys, we love you. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you. Give us a call if you need anything, especially call Jonathan if you need some dinner delivered. He'd love to do that. That'd be great.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, super.
Calling later. Thanks, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
All right. See you guys.